Oregon looks to continue its undefeated 2013 campaign on Saturday when they take on the Tennessee Volunteers at Autzen Stadium. Now, despite having won their first two games by very, very big margins, 66-3 against Nicholls State and 59-10 against Virginia, there are still some areas in which Oregon can improve. Here are my three to watch out for on Saturday when the Ducks take on the Vols. First, two guys that had off games against Virginia, running back Byron Marshall, tight end Colt Lyerla. We'll start with Marshall. Do I think that he's somehow broken or an ineffective back and not suitable for the Oregon offense? No way. No chance. I think he's definitely the best fit and a more than capable number two running back in the Oregon offense. And I think if DeAnthony Thomas were to leave for the NFL draft after this year, he's probably our best option as the number one running back going into 2014, and the Oregon offense would do just fine with Byron Marshall as the feature back. That being said, he had an off game. He averaged, I think it was something like less than 3 yards a carry, which is not good. That's true. It's not good. But he will bounce back from these things. He's only a sophomore, and sophomores will have growing pains, and sophomores will have off games. Moving to Colt Lyerla, he's a junior, and he had an off game. Dropped 3 passes, and, you know, sometimes you get the drop season. That happens. Is he going to somehow, you know, disintegrate this season and fall apart? No, he's not. He's going to bounce back. He's going to play very, very well. He's probably going to be the number one tight end off the board in the NFL draft next year. And so these two guys, you know, we can freak out all we want about their, you know, off games against Virginia, but they're going to be just fine. My second area of improvement to look out for on Saturday, Scott Frost and his play calling. We've talked about this at length numerous times here on the ATQ tubes, on addictedtoquack.com, in the posts and in the comments, about how despite putting up lots of points and having a lot of offensive firepower, the offense really hasn't had that crispness, that rhythm that we're used to seeing. And what we really haven't talked about is the fact that for the first time since the 2006 Las Vegas Bowl, there is a play caller for the Oregon Ducks that is not Chip Kelly. This is very, very significant because Chip Kelly, as we saw on Monday night in Philadelphia, is one of the top offensive minds in the world when it comes to football right now. Scott Frost, in his first year as the Oregon offensive coordinator, as the Oregon play caller, he's going to go through growing pains and bumps in the road, just like Byron Marshall, just like Colt Lyerla, just like I think Marcus Mariota is going through a little bit with his passing accuracy. So yeah, it's not going to look as crisp, and maybe we shouldn't have expected it to look that crisp going into the season, but I think we were all just thinking, oh, the Oregon offense is the Oregon offense, and it's going to look awesome because, you know, we have DeAnthony Thomas, we have Marcus Mariota, we have Braylon Addison, we have Josh Huff, we have all these guys, but the guy that's, you know, driving the train is Scott Frost, who is a fairly new play caller and a fairly new offensive mind when it comes to putting a full offensive game plan together, putting together a drive and a set of plays that flow in and out of each other. And I think that's where that lack of really smoothness and snappiness might be coming from. So Scott Frost also will get better as the season goes on, and the schedule sets up very, very nicely for Oregon to go through these growing pains. These first 2 games against, you know, not definitely inferior opponents. Tennessee, an SEC foe, the best opponent Oregon will have faced this year, but still I think they're, you know, a class or 2 lower on the football totem pole than Oregon is right now. Then they open Pac-12 play against a Cal team whose defense looked absolutely abysmal against Portland State. I think they gave up 434 yards of offense in the first half, gave up 30 points. They were burnt deep numerous times. This is not good when you're going up against an Oregon offense. I think after giving up 44 points to Northwestern, that performance against Portland State, I don't see any reason to think they should put up a fight against Ohio State. And then they're coming into Autzen 1-2. So this definitely has potential for another blowout, and that's more opportunity for guys to find their rhythm. Scott Frost to put more plays together and to set an offense and to start to find those combinations that he likes and to figure it out and to really, grow and progress as an offensive mind. The third thing I'm looking for, penalties. Oh my God, penalties. So many penalties against Virginia, and it kind of kept them, in it. It kept the game really closer than it ended up being. And that's not good. Penalties are more than anything, I think, penalties are what's going to even the playing field between a team with superior talent and a team with not superior talent. That's how good teams lose to bad teams, is they commit penalties and dumb mistakes. And Mark Helfrich talked about this after the Virginia game. He's talked about it all week, really getting those penalties out of the Oregon way, the Oregon philosophy. Chip Kelly, under Chip Kelly, Oregon was a very penalized team. They do run a lot of plays, so there's more chances for penalties. However, I think Mark Helfrich is going to expect that sharpness, and I think we're going to hopefully see that penalty, the amount of penalties decrease as the season goes on, because once we get into Pac-12 play, those penalties could be crucial. They could be drive killers, they could be drive extenders for the other team, and that's what could lead to potentially upset losses. So those are the three things I'm looking for on the field Saturday against Tennessee. Tune in on Friday for my final Tennessee recap and my game prediction. And as always, stay tuned to Addicted to Quack every day for the latest news and analysis about your Oregon Ducks. For Addicted to Quack, this is Takimoto. Go Ducks.